important these days. A lot of people are struggling, and I want to talk about this one a little bit. Um, as someone who has tried everything, has a good background, now has problems, and so on. I actually have pretty good examples and reactions to why this is happening, and I think we are going towards a situation where there is going to be no way out eventually, and there's good reasons for that. But here we go.
How are we supposed to buy a house when my rent is going up another $195 a month? It has gone up $720 in 4 years for the same place that I live in.
Yes, that is a big problem, and that is happening everywhere, even in places where it's cheaper. It's just happening slower in places that are cheaper, and your wages do not change. Yeah, that's absolutely a problem.
$640 a year more for the same place I lived in 4 years ago. I'm sorry, property taxes are not going up that much that landlords are charging that much more. We have to stop blaming the economy, the government, the president. It is greedy people taking more profits in. When people tell you just move somewhere else, why would I move to another state that's cheaper? Why should I?
Uh, it's still so. This depends on what your career is. You might not be able to, because your career won't be there. So the only way that you'd be able to do that is if you work remote. Um, I have been lucky enough to be in that situation, so I have been able to do that. And I used to live in a big city. I used to work on site. I used to do exactly what this guy is doing, and that has gotten to the point where it is unsustainable. Uh, I've had no choice but to move and reorient how I do that because you cannot. Yeah, I mean, he's right. You cannot survive off of this, and I think it is a population problem more than anything. There are too many people willing to pay. Nobody stands up. Nobody does strikes. Nobody does anything. They just think it is the way it is and that they should just do it. Nobody ever fights back. That is why it's failing. That is the key reason why everything is failing. Nobody fights back like our parents and other people did through strikes and things like that. This doesn't happen anymore. Now everybody just thinks it's normal. The other problem is there's really nobody to vote for to target this. Neither side talks about fixing rent. So that is a big problem too. I think we need a third party or something like that. There's a serious political problem going on there.
I have to uproot my family, lose my career, just to afford to live somewhere. You're implying people who live in where I live now don't deserve a fair shot at cost of living. And places with cheaper rent pay lower salaries. That's how this whole thing works for.
He is right. You do get lower salaries, but overall, I think you do make more money because if you're making $15 an hour and rent is only 1,000 compared to 2,000, you can still make only $15 an hour there too, or they might make it 18 or something. The ratio is better in cities with a lower population. That I can personally say is true. So it is actually better as long as you have a career and jobs that are there. That's the biggest problem, I would say. Because a lot of these economists and stuff will tell you to go to these smaller cities and do that and say that's the best thing to do, but it is only the best thing to do if your career lines up and you're able to do it. So it's not always true, and that's why the entire premise of that is false overall. So
The most part. And my girlfriend's a teacher. Like, if she moves to a state with a cheaper cost of living, she might not even have a pension or her benefits anymore. Instead of telling the middle class to keep, like, looking somewhere cheaper, why don't you all align together and get people out of control that are doing this to us? You were always close.
well, like I said, you can't because there's no options to even do that. Both sides are for this. I mean, neither side is saying let's stop the rent problem. They both are for this. So there is no option to fix that control yet. Hopefully someday there will be. It also proves that the two party system does not work. It is failing, and we are seeing it firsthand.
closer to being homeless than you are to being rich. Like, everyone just assumes one day they're going to get rich, and that's why they don't stand up for people just like them in the struggle.
No, that's just stupid. The majority absolutely does not get rich. That has never been true. It's not possible. The only way you can make more money is by taking more money from somebody else. That is how capitalism works. It is impossible for everyone to become rich. You can't. That is one of the biggest problems with capitalism. Now, I'm not against capitalism. It is the best for innovation, I think, overall, but it is the worst whenever it comes to situations like this.
Right now. If not for the raise I got 4 years ago, I would be totally screwed. I don't even want to hand out or help. I just want things to not be so crazy expensive every year.
Y'all want to know something funny?
Coffee, $2. Lottery ticket, $2. Slice of pizza, $2.
I'll tell y'all something funny. No matter what you are going through, baby, I can guarantee you that rent's still gonna be due on the first. Like, it's really funny being an adult because out of all the bills that you pay on a monthly basis, rent is the only non-movable bill. Like, no matter what, that is due.
She has a good point. Yeah, I mean, that's another problem.
Do. Even if you die, that is due. Like, I think that is so crazy because all of your other bills you can move around, like your phone bill, Wi-Fi, power bill, all them other bills, no problem. Move them around. Rent, baby, if you don't have that rent on the first when it's due, you got about 2 days to get it together. And if you ain't got it together by them 2 days, you really got about, depending on where you live at, about a good 3 to 7 before they file on you. And then once they file on you, you really got to get together because if you don't pay it all, your ass is grass. Literally, that's where you're going to be at, in the grass. Like,
Yeah.
You're gone. Like, that's it.
It ain't no.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Is it's an entrapment system. You will not have a home. You'll be homeless. You have to do it. This is a very, very serious problem. It's the biggest problem, and nobody's doing anything about it.
No way that renting an apartment is this expensive now. Like, what's really going on, bro? Like, the market for apartments is crazy. Not even just apartments, like houses, all that. It's like the norm is like 2,500. Like, what's really going on? How do y'all expect people to get through the week? Just like, I don't.
Okay, so the houses, the reason why they're going up, this is the problem. As far as those two, how they coordinate with one another. Each time the housing market goes up, the rent will go up, which just makes sense because why would you take less if you can make more from the ratio between the two? So this is going to continue to happen, and the housing market is going up because there is a lot of people, a lot of companies out there that are buying properties and trying to resell them for a higher price and rent them out until they do sell for that higher price. So they win no matter what. And this is what, it's one of the key things, probably the primary key thing that's destroying everything. Is that right there?
I don't get it. Like, bro, I feel bad if you ain't working right now or something. Like, it is crazy. Like, and then it be the apartments that don't even be nothing special about it. It ain't them high-rise apartments. It's the simple one bathroom, 2 bedrooms, living room, and that's it.
Oh, what's in it doesn't matter. What matters is the value and supply and demand. This is where supply and demand fails because it is a requirement of life. It is not a luxury or anything like that. And since it is a requirement, this is where I'm not for the government stepping in and controlling everything, but they kind of need to in this situation. Like, if it's a need, like food, a place to live, things like that, the ability to even get a job, all the things that are required to get a job should be controlled differently. Because if you can't even get a job due to the requirements for money to begin with, you can never move forward. You can never survive. This is a fundamental flaw that needs to be fixed.
Like at the end of the day, bruh, the something gotta shake. A reality check has to come in play. Like, I don't know what's been going on these last couple of years, but I don't like it. Like, bro, you can't even tell nobody like, yeah, I'm gonna move out and I get 18 to get a man. That's damn near throwing them to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? Like, how motherfuckers be like, your parents be like, hey, you gotta move out when you get 18. I wish motherfuckers would tell me.
That's called the School of Hard Knocks. It's happened to me. Yeah, that's just the reality. I think it's actually a very important lesson whenever you're young to understand that you have to take care of yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to figure things out and do it on your own, individually. That is an important lesson. If things do get handed to you all the time, then there will be things that you will never strive for. So this is where there is a little bit of contradiction to what I'm saying, but at the same time, is everyone supposed to just become homeless and die? Like, obviously, it's a great idea, but it is failing. So,
If I was 18 right now, move out. You gotta let me get some time to understand what's going on. Like, these apartments are so expensive. And that ain't even groceries, cleaning products, clothes. Like, to the new generation, life is life. And you remember that teacher used to always be like, yeah, once you graduate, you're gonna see how life is. No, life is really life. And I'm telling you, life is real.
What is up with these new developers trying to get us to spend over $2K for a one-bedroom apartment in Philly? It's not that type of city. We're not. No one who lives in Philly and is from Philly can actually justify spending that much money.
yes, it is hard. There was one of the roughest points I've had is I've had to have 4 roommates in a house, and we all split the rent. That lowered it to about $500. That is the situation we're in. Roommates is the answer right now. I don't like the answer. I'm sure none of you will either, but it works, and I think that's what's expected is to get people to live together. I don't know why. It's really weird, but that is the situation right now. You have to be able to get along with people you don't even know or may not even like. So yeah, that's a big one, and that is a solution. It's not a good one, not a fun one, but it works. So
For a one-bedroom apartment. Like, 1,700, maybe you're okay. 18, you're pushing it.
even if you have a 1-bedroom apartment, somebody can sleep on the couch or something like that. You can come to agreement with the living room. There's ways. But the other part is getting married. If you get a relationship with a trustworthy relationship where people build together, you will also be fine. So, there are ways. It's just not, and I think that might be part of the reason why they're pushing this is because birth rates are going down. One of the solutions is to be in a family. So, yeah, that's just what I think.
But could be possible. And I see the type of people that these apartment complexes are trying to market themselves to, and even they can't justify spending that much money living in Philadelphia. And the gag is, all of these apartments are vacant. They can't fill them. And they offer these incentives like, oh, first 2 months free, first month is free. It still doesn't help that I would have to spend $2,000 for an apartment. And no.
Yeah, that's just basic marketing techniques right there. Exactly. And you have to pay a deposit too, so that so-called free time is already you're still paid through the deposit. So, it isn't really free unless you get all of your deposit back at the end. So, yeah, that's just marketing 101 right there.
No, you don't get what you paid for. You don't. Bring down the prices, and I promise you, all those vacant spots will be filled.
These landlords have lost their ever.
She is wrong about that. The vacant spots are filled. That's the thing. They are making it. If it wasn't working, they wouldn't keep raising the price. They keep raising the price because it is working.
Lasting mind. We have been living in this house for 2 years since relocating from South Florida. Faithful with our rent, paying on time. I don't ask for any maintenance because my husband was a maintenance.
Well, everyone's faithful with your rent. You have to be, or you're not going to have a place to live. So, you say you're faithful, but you're forced to be faithful. It's by force. So, that's a little different.
Supervisor, and he's an HVAC technician. I'm hooked up. We get the renewal, and with all their bogus fees and all, they want to charge us $3,000.
Yeah.
Mind you, just a
Yeah, where my sister lives, she just talked to me about this. It is $3,000 there per month. It's insane. That's absolutely outrageous.
few months prior, 4 houses down, the same house. It's twin. They rented it for under $1,900. Under $1,900. It was like $1,890. Well, I answered back and I told them that I could not afford that there was no way that I was going to be able to do that. They countered and said, well, what if we kept the rent the same? I countered back and said, how about you give me the same rent that you did with the other house, 4 houses down at like $1,890? Like, come on now. They had the nerve to answer back and say, we can lower it $50. With still having all of those
What a joke with how high it is.
Tacked on. I'm still losing here.
And my whole feed is people telling their stories of how they not paying their rent. I don't understand how y'all got the balls to be living up in these people's houses and y'all are not paying the rent. When I used to live in my
Usually the people doing that are from friends and family that are allowing them to, and they're just extremely lucky. Not everyone has that luck, though.
apartment before I met my husband, if I didn't think I was going to have my rent by the 5th, I was scared. Okay, I was scared that they was going to come on the 6th and have all my stuff out on the sidewalk. So for y'all to be going years, literally, this girl went 26 months without paying rent. At this point, baby, you should have had enough saved up for a down payment for a house. It blows my mind that some people are out here in the world like this, but I'm not surprised. I hope that makes sense. It blows my mind, but I'm not surprised because some people are just so very entitled, and like when they move into people's stuff, they like, oh, this is mine. This is mine. No, baby, this is temporary.
See, that's the type of that you can take as a positive, though, because this is what I like about being head of household. I would be the main head of household most of the time in my life, and if you see somebody like that, you just kick them out. Just get rid of them. So they become homeless because of their own selfish, entitled ignorance, and that's one of the positives that comes out of this, actually. So, people have to be respectful to one another, or no one's going to survive. That's one of the positives.
It's not yours, but I just think it's am I the only one that's thinking like this? Like, I would be so nervous if I missed a month of paying my rent. I would be like, oh my God, they're coming to kick me out. What am I going to do? 26 months of not paying the rent and you didn't have a dime to your name to move to a new place. That is sickening.
So I just saw someone talking.
I agree. That's pure laziness. I've worked my entire life. I don't see how that's insane. That's actually insane. The only time that I haven't is now I'm hurt, and that's the only reason nobody will hire me. So it's a very different situation in that case. But a lot of these people that are doing that, they can work. They don't have any problems.
About how much rent has increased in the past few years, let me tell you something absolutely ridiculous. So we have lived in the same apartment for 9 years now. When we moved in 9 years ago, our rent was $550 a month. Now, after yearly increases every single year, we pay $1,200 a month. $1,200.
Yep.
And guess how many updates we've gotten in this apartment? Oh, wait. None. None. Same carpets, same appliances, same cabinets, same everything. Now,
Yeah, greed is absolutely a factor. There's no doubt about it. These people are making serious bank.
the new apartments, well, the up-and-coming renting ones, those get upgrades. Those get all new flooring, paint, cabinets, carpet, everything. But they won't do anything for us unless we move out. But, oh, they would let us move into a renovated apartment, but we have to pay like $200 to do that. Plus move all our stuff. Like, I don't understand. Make it make sense.
Y'all, we really are the new adults.
Does make sense. They're greedy. They want all your money, and you are going to keep paying for it and not fight back. That is exactly what they want.
We really are the new adults paying our own bills. And I'm saying it, rent is so high, y'all. Rent is so expensive. And sometimes I be questioning, like, as adults, how do we do it? Like, how do we do it? We just be making it happen. I remember growing up
Paying rent should be illegal. So, if you think about the entire world, everyone is screwed on rent. Worldwide, we're actually one of the only countries where you can really own your own land fairly easily. It's obviously getting way harder than it used to, but you can still own your own land here. That is not possible in any communist country, or probably over half the world. Like, you cannot do this. It's actually impossible. You have to pay some kind of monthly fee, and they're usually higher than we are. So, as bad as it is, it can still get worse, and it probably will before people start to really do something about it.
one bedrooms were like $500 to $600. Now where I stay, the one bedrooms, they're over $1,300. Not on top of that, you got rent, you got lights, you got water, you got cable, you got groceries. If you got
Here's what's really screwed up. A lot of the people that are in charge and rich right now will say, oh, well, you don't need cable. Oh, well, you don't need internet. Oh, you don't even need electricity, actually. This is a big problem, for sure. And all the way up to the top. These people, one of the biggest problems is, what is a need? The people will debate what a need even is and what should be humane to begin with, which is insane. And it is usually rich people making that decision that have all the things that they could ever want. They're the ones making the decisions for the people that don't have anything. What do you think's going to happen? You're not going to get anything. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, that's I don't know how this can be fixed, because the government is just as greedy as the companies. So,
emergency, you got life insurance. Yeah. I was ready to be grown so bad. Not only that, I'm just a girl. So I got hair maintenance, get my hair done, lashes done, makeup done, toes done, and whatever else I need done. Get my feminine hygiene products. Yeah.
My rent is going up almost $300 a month, okay? I'm confused. I'm lost, dumbfounded. Everywhere in my city, everybody going up in apartments, okay? These are just one bedrooms. I pay $1,100 a month for one bedroom right now. If I resign my lease, it'd be $1,300, okay? Not including maintenance fees, not including all the utilities and all that stuff. But it's all said and done, I'll be spending $1,600, $1,700 to live there, okay? When it's all said and done. My thing is, what do these landlords think we're making out here? Okay? Everybody not making all that kind of money like this. I'm a truck driver. As you can see, I'm in the truck right now. Truck drivers don't get raises, okay? We don't get raises. I barely made enough to make 3 times the rent already. But now it's just going up.
It's good that he pointed that out. So in some states, you have to make 3 times the income of the required rent in order to even rent there to begin with, which is another pathway straight to homelessness, because that's becoming impossible now.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I make $4,000 a month. I don't know.
$4,000 a month is actually pretty good, especially as a truck driver, because you can live anywhere. So that is very livable. I don't know. This guy is just he's not really using his head in this case. That's just bad.
Well, I make that, but after taxes and all that, you know how that go. It's about 36, something like that. I won't be able to afford that place anymore I live at right now. So I gotta move. I'm probably considering living in my truck, maybe.
That might sound rough, but it's probably worth it. Save up enough money to put a down payment on a house and buy a house. He could do that with that job. A lot of people can't though, so.
Might get a hotel rooms on weekends. If I get a hotels on weekends, I spend $580 a month just for Saturdays to Sundays. That save me a lot of money, about $1,000 a month, just doing that. Cause I'm gone most of the time anyway. But my big concern is I don't know where these landlords, how they think we out here making all this money to raise the rent down high. I refuse to pay that much for 1 bedroom.
They don't. They just don't care. They just want more money. It's just that simple. They don't really care. They don't care about the people. That's one of the biggest problems. The idea of caring about your fellow man is completely gone. You can see it in the government and companies. They both are doing it. We're going in a massive downward spiral. There's no morality. So when there's no morality, why would you care what happens to other people?
So I'm not doing that. I've been looking around my city. A lot of folks moving in the city, so I guess, you know, supply and demand is what raised the prices up. But I've been in my
He's right. That is exactly what's raising it. There's so many people that it's easy to keep raising it, and people will be dumb enough to keep paying for it. That's exactly what's happening.
city my whole life, and they trying to push us out. I'd rather be straightforward and say that. We're going to push everyone that's a native of this city, who's born and raised here. We're going to push y'all out and want everybody to come in here and say raise prices. I'd rather be straightforward and just say that, okay, than just raising prices and we just all confused.
And I'm really struggling because not stop thinking about the.
I think one of the solutions would be transparency. Kind of like what Doge is doing, but they should be doing it on all of our taxes and everything. Things like rent, and everyone should see the actual real number of profit being made from these people and what's happening. So the entire public knows exactly where the problem is. That is all hidden from you, though. You have no idea how much they're making, losing, or any of that through any of this stuff. You're just trusting whatever the media or someone else tells you on Reddit or whatever, or X or whatever, and thinking that, oh, well, this is the cause, this is the cause. The fact is, nobody actually knows. But it is pretty obvious that there is a greed factor. Because the percentages, I've actually done the math on my own rent in the past, where I calculated that the amount they increased it is far higher than the inflation rate is. So they are ripping people off, and it is pure greed and nothing else. That's been my experience, though. I don't know if that's the situation for every location.
The current state of the housing market. It is ridiculous, y'all. I have to move in January, and so I've been just scoping the scenery and seeing what I'm gonna have to deal with when that time comes. And girl, just to get like a 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment, you're gonna pay $850, $950, $1,000, and the apartment might be updated, it might be modern, who knows. And then don't let you be like me when you got a bad back and the back just be backing and you don't want to carry your laundry up and down the stairs, so you want in-unit laundry. Oh no, boo, if you want in-unit laundry, you're gonna pay $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, and that is just crazy to me. It's criminal.
If you actually think about this video and the range of different rents you've already heard, it's actually pretty crazy because you've heard as low as 12 to 1300 to up to 3000. So the market is very, very wide. It's just people can't live where they want to and pay what they want to.
It is not very demure of the housing market at all.
How is America continuing to build all these ridiculous apartment complexes, but charging almost $3,000 for one bedroom? And who in the
See,
hell
he's 3,000.
are
Last person was
affording to move
1,200.
into these ridiculously high, overpriced, expensive apartments? Not to mention you got food, you got electricity bill, got car payment, car insurance, gas. You like to go shopping, get new clothes. God forbid you need a haircut every 2 weeks, or you got to get your hair done. And God forbid you have kids' mouths to feed. That's even double. The average income earner cannot afford these overpriced apartments. So who the fuck are they building these apartment complexes for? And what makes it even more hilarious, every single year these greedy landlords continue to increase the rent. So pretty soon, if you haven't already, we're going to be seeing $4,000, $5,000 a month apartment complex prices. And my question is, why do they keep getting away with this? How, as we as a people have not gone up there with...
The reason they keep getting away with it is there's a fundamental flaw with the free market. Free market is a great thing. It's one of the things that made this country rich, but at the same time, that also means that the government has minimal things that they can do to intervene whenever situations like this happen. So this is the con. We're just seeing one of the biggest cons to the free market right now. This right here is a massive con that does need to be fixed. There's no doubt about it.
Pitchforks, knives, and any type of weapon that we can find to put an end to this madness. We are literally allowing them to run our pockets dry. What happened to America? We used to protest way back then.
This guy gets it. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is it. He gets it. This is what I was saying. Nobody fights back. Nobody does it. They just accept it and think it's normal.
The minute taxes went over 2%, now we are getting taxed damn near half, if not more than half our money. Rent is out of control. Housing prices are out of control. Mortgage is out of control. Every single bill known to man is completely out of control. And all we do is we go on TikTok, we moan, we complain, and then the next day we get up, we go to work, and we pay that.
Yeah, we do it anyway. Yeah, it's exactly. Yep. It's exactly what's happening.
Overpriced rent. Why, as we as a people have not done anything about this? Because we have not revolted. Us not revolting means that these landlords will continue to increase the rent every single year. Us not revolting means that these developers will continue to buy up a whole bunch of land, knock down these trees, and build overpriced apartment complex on top of apartment complex on top of apartment complex. Us not revolting.
Yeah, he pretty much saying what I'm saying here. Yeah, that's it. That's the problem.